Stop scrolling right now. Taurus, the universe does not deal in coincidences, and the fact that you are hearing this exact message today means your energetic cycle has finally aligned with the turning point. I can feel the profound exhaustion you have been carrying, that silent, heavy weight of always being the strong one, always waiting for the other shoe to drop while everyone else seems to move forward effortlessly. But if you click away now, you will walk blindly into the biggest energetic shift of your lifetime without the map you need to navigate it. Stay with me. You are the Taurus who sustains everyone around them, constantly building solid foundations for others, but never getting to sit peacefully in the house you built. For years, you have been constructing a massive dam, holding back the heavy waters of pressure, only watching a tiny trickle of reward make it through. It is an unacknowledged karmic cycle that kept testing your worthiness and your capacity to receive, forcing you to over-deliver just to feel safe. Your stubborn pride kept you from asking for help, coupled with the deep-seated fear that if something comes too easily or feels too good, it must be a trap. But this cycle is breaking. You will understand why the ground beneath your feet had to feel so intensely unstable for the past few years. You will recognize the exact signs that your invisible karmic debt has been stamped and paid in full. You will discover the specific area of your life where this massive change will manifest first. You will learn how to receive this sudden harvest without your old fear of losing it all again. And before this message closes, I will tell you a single phrase about your life that you will carry with you for the next several months. Have you ever felt that there is a profound exhaustion in your bones that doesn't come from a lack of sleep? As if you are carrying the spiritual weight of a cycle that refuses to end. It is as if your mind is secretly convinced that true peace and massive abundance are meant for everyone else, but never for you. Why does it have to be this hard? What if this constant feeling of running on a treadmill isn't bad luck, but a clear sign that the universe is trying to force you to acknowledge a karmic debt before it can deliver your harvest? Because while many people look at your life and see a strong, unshakable foundation, very few realize that your silent struggles carry an unhealed ancestral pattern, a deep energetic block, and a spiritual answer you haven't yet decoded. But what if the massive turning point is in this revelation that you haven't yet been able to apply? Now think with me. Why do certain areas seem blocked even when I try to do everything right? What if every unrecognized sacrifice, every delayed reward every time you built a foundation for someone else, every silent night of anxiety, every opportunity that slipped through your fingers, and this constant sensation of waiting for the other shoe to drop were signs of a karmic debt you have postponed for too long? It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. This book is not just a read. It is a revelation created for Taurus who desire to understand the unseen energetic patterns holding you back, break the karmic cycles of endless effort and delayed rewards, and strengthen your spiritual foundation to safely receive the massive changes the universe is sending. Many Taurus already feel they need to change how they view their blocks, but they haven't yet made the decision to download the digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. But attention, access may be taken down at any moment. It reveals reflections, hidden signs, and directions that can transform everything you thought you knew about your own journey. Do not wait for another massive cosmic window to close before you finally claim what is yours. Click right now, download your copy, and discover why the heaviest burden of your past could be exactly the place where the universe is preparing your most massive liberation. You are still processing this right now, feeling that tightness of recognition in your chest. If this first word has already touched something inside you, write "My Harvest" down below, not for me, but because another Taurus who is exactly where you were a year ago needs this message to find them tonight. This path has a map, and it is already within your reach in the first pinned comment. We are going to walk through it together, and in a little while I will come back to it, because you do not have to carry this weight blindly anymore. And if for any reason you are not interested or cannot acquire the digital book right now, there is still another door open for you. I do not receive a single cent for any of these messages I deliver here every day. Nothing at all. And yet they keep coming out every day for you and for every Taurus who still needs to be reached. If at any moment your heart wishes to return a little of what it received, There is a voluntary donation link open in the first pinned comment, right below the book. Any amount that fits in your hand today, any amount your heart points to. That is what keeps this channel standing. That is what makes the next message reach another Taurus tomorrow, exactly as it reached you today. I will be waiting for you there, Taurus. I still haven't told you the most important thing. There are 4 signs that this cycle has already started to turn, and you're going to recognize at least one of them. I want you to breathe slowly, Taurus. Let the noise of the outside world fall away for just a second, because what we are about to touch is delicate. You have spent so much time holding everything together for everyone else that you rarely stop to feel the tectonic plates of your own reality shifting right beneath your feet. But they are moving. Notice how your body reacts to what I'm going to say now. Does your chest tighten? Do your shoulders tense up defensively? That is the old cycle trying to protect you from hoping again. But I need you to recognize the exact signs that your invisible karmic debt has already been stamped and paid in full. Think back to that late Tuesday night when you were lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling. The house was entirely quiet, but your mind was racing. Out of nowhere, you felt this unexplainable, overwhelming urge to completely pack up your life, leave everything behind and start over from scratch. You called it being permanently stuck, but the universe called it growing roots deep enough to hold the incoming harvest. That wasn't just restlessness keeping you awake. It was your soul sensing the massive shift in your reality before your mind could even process it. Then there was the sudden physical exhaustion that hit you last week. You were standing in your kitchen, right in the middle of a completely mundane task, maybe just washing a cup or organizing a drawer, and suddenly you were forced to sit down. The air felt heavy, and you could barely keep your eyes open. For some of you, this appeared as a sharp, sudden need to sleep for hours. For others, it manifested as a deep emotional heaviness that made you want to cry without any logical reason. You called it a painful loss. But the universe called it a massive clearance of space for what is truly yours. That wasn't just physical burnout. It was your energy field shedding a decade of heavy karmic baggage all at once. And what about the strange way a person or a situation from your past recently crossed your mind out of nowhere? You were driving, or perhaps just looking out the window, and a memory you haven't touched in years suddenly surfaced. But instead of the familiar sting, you felt entirely indifferent. The emotional charge was completely gone. You called it a harsh ending, but the universe called it a karmic receipt, stamped and paid in full. That wasn't random nostalgia playing tricks on your mind. It was the universe formally closing a debt you didn't even know you were still paying. Finally, there is that sudden, unusual feeling of detachment toward a specific outcome you used to fight so hard to control. For years, Taurus, your knuckles were white from gripping the steering wheel of your life, trying to force a certain door to open. And then, a few days ago, you just exhaled and let it go. You didn't fight. You didn't push. You called it giving up. But the universe called it the ultimate sign of karmic release. By dropping the resistance, you cleared the exact space needed for the harvest to finally arrive. These signs have a common origin, and it has a name. But before the name, you need something else. There is a path to release this debt, and I am going to open it right now, before the name, before the word. Because anyone carrying the heavy weight of an ancient karmic cycle needs relief before they receive the revelation. Stay with me. And this is exactly where the path of release opens. Because the signs that just hit you didn't hit by chance, Taurus. That heavy anchor in your chest, it's not physical fatigue. It's your spirit demanding a closure nobody ever taught you how to make. It is as if a silent voice inside you insists that any massive relief will only come at an unbearable cost, tricking you into believing that true peace must always be earned through an endless cycle of suffering. You look around and see people receiving their blessings with ease, while you are forced to fight for every single inch of ground. But what if this constant sensation of giving everything and receiving a fraction isn't your permanent destiny, but a final cosmic push, forcing you to recognize an invisible debt before it can safely release your monumental harvest? I have seen Taurians exactly where you are right now. I have watched them carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, constantly building unshakable foundations for others, yet quietly wondering when it will finally be their turn to sit peacefully in the house they built. They reach the breaking point, believing that their profound exhaustion is just the price of being the reliable one, the strong one, the solitary anchor that everyone else ties their ship to in a storm. But the exhaustion isn't a personality trait. It is a symptom. It is the physical manifestation of an energetic ledger that hasn't been balanced. It is the accumulated weight of every time you compromised your own peace to maintain someone else's stability, silently waiting for a reward that kept being pushed further into the future. The doors that slammed shut at the very last second, the people who walked away without a single word of gratitude, and that haunting feeling of always paying a heavy toll for a road you never even walked. You were told to just keep pushing through it, to be resilient, to endure the silence. But you cannot outwork a karmic cycle. You can only understand it, acknowledge it, and close it. It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. This digital book is not a collection of generic astrological advice or empty promises. It is the precise map of your invisible energetic blockages, designed to show you exactly how to break the ancient cycles of endless effort and delayed rewards. It reveals how to fortify your spiritual foundation so that you can safely hold the massive shifts the universe is about to deposit into your life without feeling guilty, without the fear of it being taken away, and without accepting struggle as your eternal fate. Because the universe never clears a massive space in a Taurian's life without intending to fill it immediately with the exact harvest they have been denied for years. But you must know how to open the structural gates to let the water in. This cosmic window of deliverance does not wait for you to feel ready. Every week you spend ignoring this energetic shift is another week of pouring your vital energy into a foundation that will never support your own dreams. Every month you navigate this transition blindly is a month of unconsciously blocking the very abundance you have prayed for, allowing the old cycles of fear and hesitation to dictate your reality. The true cost of not understanding this debt is watching the massive harvest finally arrive, only to have it slip through your fingers because your hands were too full of someone else's heavy burdens to catch it. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. Do not wait for the next painful delay to realize what this current shift is trying to teach you. The digital book is available right now in the first pinned comment. Download it now, while this word is still vibrating alive in your chest. Step onto the path and claim the complete clearing of this karmic debt that only this specific map can fully guide you through. Feel the heavy iron of your own resistance for a moment. You are the builder who spent years carrying heavy stones up a steep, muddy hill in the freezing rain. Your hands were cut, your back ached, and you spent all your time securing the foundation while everyone else was resting in fragile tents below. When the massive storms came, the tents blew away, but your stone house stood firm. You survived the brutal building phase, Taurus. The sky is finally clearing, the sun is shining. But you must physically put the heavy stones down if you want to walk inside and actually live in the fortress you built. You cannot embrace the incoming harvest if your muscles are still locked in the memory of the struggle. You must give yourself permission to drop the weight. And as I told you earlier, Taurus, besides the digital book that is in the first pinned comment, there is that open voluntary donation link right below the book. I still do not receive a single cent for each message that leaves here for you. That is why this link exists, so that another Taurus tomorrow can find this exact message that found you today. Any amount your heart points to. Every such gesture keeps our channel standing and makes the next message reach whoever needs it, exactly as it reached you today. The incoming harvest has a shape and it has a date. And now, with the path laid out before you, the name descends. For years, you have been taught to believe that your life is permanently stuck in an endless loop of hard work, with delayed or completely denied rewards, making you feel as if you are somehow destined to struggle while others breeze by. You look at your reality, at the immense effort you pour into every single task, and you wonder why your tremendous sacrifices only ever yield a fraction of what they should. You convince yourself that this is just how it has to be for you. But I need you to listen to this very carefully, Taurus. It is not bad luck. It is not a cosmic punishment. It is not a flaw in your character. It is the karmic vault and the window of deliverance. Your prolonged waiting period was never a delay, and it was certainly never a curse. It was a profound, invisible rooting process required before a massive karmic harvest could safely be delivered into your hands. For years, you have essentially been building a massive dam in the dark. You held back the heavy, chaotic waters of pressure, absorbing the impact for your family, your friends, and your colleagues, only watching a tiny trickle of reward make it through the cracks to you. You thought the trickle was all you deserved. But now, the debt is stamped and paid in full. The structural gates of the karmic vault are finally opening entirely on their own, and the entire reservoir of abundance you have earned is rushing in all at once. The cosmic window for this monumental shift is opening right now in these very days. And if you do not fully understand the karmic laws governing this sudden release, you risk unconsciously sabotaging the very abundance you have waited your entire life to receive. It wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. Think of the builder who spent years carrying heavy stones up a steep, muddy hill in the freezing rain. His hands were cut, his back ached, and he spent all his time securing the foundation deep into the earth, while everyone else was resting effortlessly in fragile tents below. He watched them celebrate while he worked in the mud, silently wondering if his labor would ever mean anything. But when the massive storm finally came, the tents blew away, and his stone house stood firm. Now, the storm is over. The heavy clouds are breaking, the sun is shining, and it is time to actually live inside the fortress he built, rather than just guarding its walls. It is exactly where you are right now, Taurus. You survived the brutal building phase. Now comes the living phase. I saw you staring at the ceiling on that late Tuesday night, feeling the heavy shift in your soul. I watched you carry the weight of those who could not carry themselves, silently enduring a burden that was never yours to hold forever. I did not delay your harvest to break your spirit. I held it back until your roots were deep enough to sustain its massive weight without breaking you. Now open your hands, because the waiting is over. There is a man who carried this exact same heavy energy for years, always working, always providing, always fixing everyone else's chaos, but feeling like an invisible wall constantly blocked him from his own true peace. He was exhausted down to his bones, secretly convinced that his destiny was to be the eternal caretaker of other people's happiness. And then, one day, he simply stopped trying to force the locked door open and consciously acknowledged the karmic debt he had been unknowingly paying for his lineage. What changed in him was a complete energetic shift. The moment he recognized the cycle and stopped fighting the current, the massive changes didn't just trickle in, they completely flooded his reality, returning everything he thought he had permanently lost and filling the spaces he thought would remain empty forever. You are feeling the weight of these words right now, noticing a sudden strange lightness in your chest as the truth finally clicks into place. Your body recognizes what your mind has been trying to deny, but do not look away yet. The deepest truth is still ahead, and it has your name on it. Now that you see the structural gates of your karmic vault finally opening entirely on their own, you must understand exactly who is standing before them. The massive changes rushing into your reality are not arriving blindly. They are seeking out the specific version of you that was forged in the freezing rain. You survived the brutal building phase, but the invisible scars you carry from those years have profoundly shaped the way you interact with the world, creating distinct roles you were forced to play just to keep everything around you from collapsing. There is the relentless provider. You are the one who always made sure the foundation was absolutely solid, constantly giving your resources, your time, and your vital energy to ensure everyone else had a safe place to land. Your hidden vulnerability is that in your endless drive to secure others, you completely forgot how to ask for a safety net for yourself, secretly believing that if you stopped providing, your worth would vanish. Then there is the silent endurer. You absorbed the emotional chaos of your family, your friends, and your partners, constantly swallowing the heavy words you wanted to say just to keep the peace. Taurus carries. Taurus sustains. Taurus does not ask for help. But beneath that quiet, unbreakable strength, you have been slowly suffocating under the immense weight of holding everyone else's secrets, while your own voice remained entirely trapped in your throat. And finally, there is the solitary anchor. You became the unshakable rock that everyone tied their fragile ships to during a storm, the reliable force that never wavered when the world turned upside down. Yet, your deepest unspoken fear is that if you were to ever let go of the rope, if you were to finally rest and let someone else be the anchor for once, you would be left completely alone in the storm. I want you to take a slow, deep breath and notice your chest right now. Feel that sudden, undeniable warmth spreading through you. That warmth has a name. It is the profound recognition of your own spirit finally being seen and validated. You are the relentless provider, the silent endurer, and the solitary anchor, all woven into one tired but incredibly resilient soul. But today, you are being crowned with a new title, the ultimate receiver of the massive harvest you built with your own bare hands. But this identity that was just declared over, you needs to be sustained, because the Taurus who knows their own value without knowing their own debt goes back to carrying what isn't theirs. To keep from picking up those heavy stones again, you need the complete map of your release. That is why you must secure your copy of the digital book, The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. It is available right now in the first pinned comment. This digital book is the structural blueprint you need for holding the new identity that was just declared over you. It shows you exactly how to break the ancient habit of being the eternal caretaker of everyone else's chaos, release the guilt, the fear of loss, and the constant anxiety of waiting for the other shoe to drop, empowering you to finally live inside the fortress you built. Do not wait for the heaviness to return before you learn how to protect the truth you just heard. Click the link in the first pinned comment, download your copy today, and anchor this new reality into your life permanently so that you never have to play those heavy roles again. I promised I would come back to this, but first you need to know exactly how this old cycle will try to return to you in the coming days, because it will try. I promised you would know exactly how this old cycle will try to return to you in the coming days, because it will try. The universe is handing you the keys to the fortress, but the ghosts of your past will still test the gates. The first way this old energy will attempt to pull you back is through a sudden heavy wave of imposter syndrome. Out of nowhere, you will look at the massive changes arriving and feel completely unworthy of them, secretly convinced it is all a mistake and you do not deserve this ease. When that happens, your first weapon is a verbal declaration. Before you even touch your phone tomorrow morning, before the world can demand anything from you, I want you to say out loud, "My debt is paid." Say it until your body believes it. The second trap is an unexpected minor setback. The cycle will throw a small, frustrating delay into your path, trying to trick you into believing that absolutely nothing has really changed, and you are still trapped in the struggle. For some of you, this will look like a sudden, temporary financial hiccup. For others, it will manifest as a harsh conversation that drains your energy right when you felt secure. Your second weapon is a physical release. I want you to physically throw away one object in your house that is tied to the heavy energy of the old cycle. A piece of clothing you wore during your hardest season, a broken item you kept to fix later, a receipt from a difficult time. Throw it away. Physically break the link. The third trap is the most dangerous, Taurus. The intense urge to self-sabotage by clinging to an old toxic comfort zone simply out of fear of the unknown. Your mind will try to convince you that carrying heavy stones in the freezing rain was somehow safer than standing with empty hands in the sun. Your third weapon is a deliberate act of receiving. I want you to do one specific thing strictly for your own joy this week, without justifying the cost or explaining it to anyone. Buy the expensive coffee, take the afternoon off, purchase the small luxury. Teach your nervous system that you are finally allowed to receive without paying a heavy toll. These three weapons will protect you from what I managed to show you today. But the karmic cycle has far more layers than can fit in a single video. When the old fear of loss tightens your chest again, when the delay feels like a punishment, when the universe tests your boundaries and your stubborn pride tries to isolate you once more, you will need the rest of the map. That is why you must access the digital book, The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. It is available right now in the first pinned comment. This digital book is the complete blueprint of release you need, so this cycle never catches you off guard again. I am not rushing you. I am warning you. Do not wait for the next karmic test to finally open the map. The cosmic window that is allowing you to permanently close this debt is opening now, and leaving this unresolved means leaving the door open for the exhaustion to return. Click the link in the first pinned comment and download your copy right now. But for now, Taurus, I need you to stop learning for a moment and start feeling. Close your eyes for a moment, Taurus. Let the noise of the outside world fall completely silent. You have spent so much time holding everything together, calculating the next move and bracing for the next impact, that your nervous system has forgotten what it feels like to simply exist in a safe space. The profound exhaustion in your bones has become your normal, but it was never meant to be permanent. Drop your shoulders right now. Unclench your jaw. Take one slow, deep breath and let it out. You do not have to build anything in this exact second. You do not have to protect anyone. Just be here, in this pause, because what is happening right now is meant entirely for you. Imagine standing before a massive ancient iron vault. For years you pushed against it, throwing your entire weight into the cold metal, but it never budged. Feel that heavy, cold iron under your hands right now, the physical memory of all that endless, unrewarded effort. But today, you do not have to push. Feel the deep rumble in the floor beneath your feet as the heavy door begins to swing open entirely on its own. See the warm, golden light spilling out, the accumulated harvest of every tear, every effort, every silent struggle you endured in the freezing rain. Feel the physical tension instantly leaving your shoulders as the massive reservoir of abundance finally rushes in. Let your hands open. The waiting is over. You survived the brutal building phase, and now you are finally stepping inside the unshakable stone house you built. But to stay inside, it is time to put the heavy stones down. Release the guilt of finally putting your own peace before someone else's chaos. Release the deep-seated fear that if something comes too easily or feels too good, it must be a trap waiting to spring. Release the silent, heavy weight of an ancient karmic debt that was stamped and paid in full the moment you stopped fighting the current. Release the stubborn pride that forces you to always be the strong one, because this massive harvest cannot be held by hands that refuse to rest. You are no longer bound by the old roles that kept you exhausted. I activate the relentless provider, commanding that from this day forward, the energy you pour out will finally be returned to you multiplied. I activate the silent endurer, declaring that your voice is no longer trapped, and the universe is now answering the heavy words you never spoke aloud. I activate the solitary anchor, pulling you out of the lonely storm and firmly planting you in the warm, solid ground of your own immense harvest. Before we seal this, write down below the name of someone you are carrying through this crossing, or if this is for you, write in one sentence what you are expecting the universe to return to you. I will read it, and you will not write this alone. Do not release this energy yet. We are not finished. Stay with me. Your unshakable foundation is protected. The immense effort you poured out in the dark is finally recognized. The massive harvest that is arriving to you right now is completely sealed. I know the profound exhaustion in your bones, the spiritual weight of a cycle you thought would never end. I watched you carry the heavy burdens of those who could not carry themselves, silently enduring a weight that was never yours to hold forever. I saw you staring at the ceiling on that late Tuesday night, feeling the heavy shift in your soul. I felt the silent anxiety in your chest when you wondered if your tremendous sacrifices would ever be acknowledged, if the peace you built for everyone else would ever be yours to enjoy. Every delayed reward, every opportunity that slipped through your fingers every time you built a solid foundation while standing in the freezing rain, none of it was ignored. I did not delay your harvest to break your spirit. I held it back until your roots were deep enough to sustain its massive weight without breaking you. You are not destined to run on a treadmill of endless effort. The constant sensation of waiting for the other shoe to drop is an old echo of a debt you have already paid. I am clearing the space, removing what drains you, so that what is truly yours can finally take root. The doors that slammed shut were not punishments, they were protection. The waiting is over. The massive harvest is at your door. Now open your hands and let me fill the space you have cleared. The heavy wave of imposter syndrome that speaks with your own voice, it ends here. The sudden minor setback that tries to trick you into believing you are still trapped, it ends here. The intense urge to self-sabotage by clinging to an old toxic comfort zone out of fear, it ends here. Taurus is never late. Taurus is not behind anyone. Taurus arrives right on time. Don't let go yet. The universe has just told you. I saw you staring at the ceiling on that late Tuesday night, feeling the heavy shift in your soul. And that is exactly why I need to remind you of one thing before sealing this. What was released here today is profoundly real, but that ancient heaviness that will try to sit on your shoulders again tomorrow morning will attempt to convince you that nothing has actually changed. The routine will try to pull you back into the exhaustion, making you believe that this sudden relief was just a fleeting illusion. You must know how to protect this open door. That is why your most vital companion right now is the digital book, The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. It is available in the first pinned comment. This map is not just about understanding the past, it is about sustaining the massive shift you just unlocked so it doesn't fade away tomorrow. It will teach you how to physically hold the new reality you claim today, ensuring the heavy stones stay on the ground where you left them. Do not wait for tomorrow to test the liberation you claim today. Secure your copy right now, step fully into your new unshakable reality, and make this release permanent. There are thousands of Taurus listening to this right now, in the exact same silence as you, feeling the exact same shift in their chest. If this voice found you today, subscribe to the channel, not for a number, but because the next message in this series will look specifically for those who have already crossed this first one. In the next video of this series, I'm going to show you the exact sign that appears 3 days before your massive karmic harvest is deposited, and why almost every Taurus ignores it. Do not miss it. And still in this video, Taurus, before I seal this hour with you, I come back one last time to this request. You have walked with me this far. You have crossed every word, every revelation, every sign. And if at any moment of this message you felt the universe touch you, you know this video was not an accident. The voluntary donation link remains open in the first pinned comment, right below the digital book. Not as a charge, not as an exchange, but as a giving back from the one who received to the source this message came from. Any amount your heart points to, and the universe sees every gesture. The universe sees. And the universe multiplies over your home, over your days, over what you don't even know is about to arrive. This was my last request. I'll be waiting for you there. Thank you so much. And when the heavy weight tries to return tomorrow, remember that the answer has a name, the great secret of the karmic debt, and it is already within your reach. The heavy storms have passed. You survived the freezing rain, and the stone house you built is finally yours to live in. Now, you can let go. This message is complete. What was seen was seen. What was settled was settled. Walk light, Taurus.